Huh. Same TV shows over and over again.
Aha. OK, tak jdeme na to.
Oh. Hello there, fellow citizens. There is a sense of change in the air, even though the people around here still don't smile as much. Anyway, welcome everyone around the world to this essential Bohemia Interactive stream. My name is Bara, and I will guide you
jako
through this
klasický
program.
komunistický stream
Tonight
tohleto.
we have a big thing coming up.
Já jsem kameru.
This evening with Bohemia Interactive, we are going to take a look into the past, but most importantly, and let's face it, we're all waiting for this, we are going to take a peek into the future. We still have some time left, so I want to share some numbers and feelings with you.
Okay.
We recently celebrated 20 years since the release of the first Arma with Bohemia Interactive. In all that time, more than 19 millions of players, content creators, and more than 100,000 items just in Arma 3 have appeared on maps across our universe. For that, our dear community, thank you. Without you, the world of Arma wouldn't be so colorful, so vast, so diverse, so unexpected, so epic, so full of stories.
Je vůbec Arma na Steamu? Ale to má aktuálně konkurent hráčů třeba.
This in the beginning, but
let's
get back to today.
Like I said, I'm looking forward to tonight. I believe we will have a wonderful time together, full of excitement and new experiences.
Já o to hraji víc lidí než Battlefield, ty vole.
Exactly. You never know what to expect. Well, hello there, splendid viewers. Welcome to the stream. Tonight is a big night for Bohemia Interactive. We would like to give many thanks to all of you who have decided to join us instead of watching something or someone else.
Kámo, to je perfektní. Pojď, frajere. Vypadá to jak Krtal Rveda, vypadá no. Čistotou ku zdraví. Tak pojďme. 80. Tohle jsou spíš 60, bych teda řekl, ty vole. No, když jako to záleží, no. 70, no možná až 70, no.
You must really love your coat. You didn't even put it to the closet.
Oh yes, this is very important. But take it easy because we have more room like this, okay?
That's true.
Yes.
Oh, I really like it here. I'm glad we came.
Yeah, me too. It's very nice, warm, cozy, good
Yeah.
vibes, nice people, right?
The weather is not good today,
No,
so
no, no. Much better in here. Much better.
can't wait for the movie. Oh, and it's about to start.
Oh, I've been waiting a
Jak já
very
mám
long
na
time
má
for
chill
this,
z
like
těch
8
starých
years.
kin, ty vole.
Sorry for being late.
Tak schválně, pojďme. Arma Cold War Assault. Tohle to je první arma. Tyhle to má pořád dobrou grafiku, tyhle normálně. Operace Flashpoint. To byla původně operace Flashpoint, OK. Tohle to jsou Combat Operations, dobře. No, tak tady ten rozdíl jako už je teda hodně poznat v tom engineu. Jasně. Krása, ty vole. Já vlastně takhle se o to mám čekat normálně. Co to je sakra za engine tohle? Arma Reforger. To kámo, nemůže být asi jako úplně funkční engine tohle. Arma 4. Je to nový engine, co používali u Daisy?
Hello, I'm Marek. I'm very pleased to welcome you on the road to Arma 4. Although we still have some way to go. We are ready to share with you our progress, a showcase of what our powerful new Enfusion engine can achieve, and a glimpse of things to come. The scope is unlike anything we have ever undertaken, more so because we are revolutionizing our technology. Our goal is to give you, our community, the game you have been waiting for. That leads us to Arma Reforger, an important and exciting milestone in our journey. But we must be clear, this is not Arma 4, not yet. Instead, our next installment in the Arma series is an open invitation, an opportunity to course correct, and a chance for you to tell us what we are doing right and what we need to change. At the same time, however, we hope to share with you just how far we've come. Arma Reforger takes us back to 1989 and a familiar Cold War setting. In many ways, it's a return to our roots, to Operation Flashpoint, and a return to Everon. 52 square kilometers of island terrain faithfully reconstructed from the original, with plenty of surprises made possible through Enfusion. Together with this, Arma Reforger includes a number of military assets from the era, as well as 2 new multiplayer game modes and workbench editing tool suite. Our focus to provide a fun, rewarding and stable sandbox for you, something that you can immediately enjoy and we can build upon. This is where we are, this is where we are going, and where everything begins. Let's take a look.
Wow, ok, takže to tam má vycházet nějaká menší verze, protože vidět 4. Enfusion Engine. Kdy vycházela Arma 3, to už taky bude hodně dlouho naspátek, ne? 2013. Jo. Ty krávo, to je skoro 10 let, no. To už je GTA 5, ty vole. Ty krávo, to se děláte prdel, ne? To nemůže být in-game grafika snad, ne, tohle. Ty bláho. Si děláš. Já normálně nevěřím vlastně očem, ty vole.
Dear friends, we welcome here the CEO of Bohemia Interactive, Marek Španěl, and together with him the project lead, Jan Dušek. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello. Hello.
The obligatory questions for both of you. How do you feel in the spotlight here?
I'm really excited to be here because it's a big moment for our company. We finally announced the result of many years of our hard work.
Feels good, doesn't it?
It is great.
Jan?
Yeah, definitely. I was looking forward to this moment for so many years because development was hard and now this is the achievement, actually.
We are happy to have you here. Marek, first questions for you. When did the idea of new Arma episode first came up?
I think it's about 5 years ago when Arma 3 was already on the market for quite a while. and we knew the most important is to create next Arma on a new engine. And because Arma is much more than just a game, is a platform for users to create new things, we decided the first step in the future of Arma needs to be a smaller, more focused game that will invite our creative users to join forces with us and shape up the future of Arma together. And we thought about the name Reforger because it's about reforging the entire Arma series.
Reforger. Tell us about it. What is it anyway?
Well, as Marek said, I like how this question is simple, but the answer is not as simple as to say it's just a video game. It's a sandbox platform, including gameplay example for people, which we called conflict. There are tools for community, there is workshop, there are many things, actually, and this package is what we call Reforger. And everything is basically based on the new engine, our own new technology. So that's the deal, that's the thing. So Arma Reforger is actually a foundation for Arma 4 and future projects.
Jasně.
Arma Reforger marks a return to everyone.
Oni byste chtěli stavět na tom engine a pak uděláš tisku, no.
Easter eggs on the map.
Dává
I'm
smysl.
not sure many of them are left because the creative director of the game, Ivan Buchta, is so serious, so he probably removed most of them, but I hope people still can find nice hints about the history of Everon, and also we made the game as a kind of tribute to 80s, because 80s, for some of us, it's the time of when we were kids, and we really tried to put the feel of 80s into Everon as well. So I hope people find some of these links to the beautiful past of Cold War.
So, Arma is typically a game you play with mouse and keyboard, no?
Yes.
Good. How hard was it to transfer this control scheme to a gamepad? Because this is the first time Arma will be available on consoles, right?
Actually, that was super tricky.
Rob to hraje skvěle, ty vole.
I would even call it like chain of Sophie's choice.
Takže bude to i na konzolích, jo, to si dokážu představit, ty vole.
To control Arma game, it requires all key on the keyboard.
So many buttons
twice,
everywhere.
maybe.
Yes.
So it's very difficult, but you know, it's getting better by years. It was getting better and better. And now we have this controller. So basically, there are two things to it, actually. One thing is that no matter how great design you have, it's always about playtest and trying it and basically figuring out what's natural, what's more ergonomic. And second thing is that we don't want to have that many controls. We want the authenticity. It's not about controlling every single bone of the character to make it walk, but it's about actually do it intuitively and basically make it more simple for people.
So, in a nutshell, you will not need extra limbs to play on consoles.
No, at all.
Now maybe more details. What do you guys think will appeal the players the most, and what do you think will excite them the most in the game?
Oh, I really hope people will really feel, even in Reforger, however humble beginning it is to the future of Arma powered by Enfusion, that at the heart of it, it's through Arma.
Budu potřebovat nový kom na to, ty vole.
Diversity and open nature of the platform we're building. So what stands apart for me is more chilling attitude. Is unlike most of action-packed shooter games. It's a really much deeper experience that some people describe in words like walking simulator, and I really like this chilling part of Arma.
Okay.
I like walking. Walking is good. How did your team approach creating Arma Reforger?
Oni tam
Well,
prostě
it's a
chtějí,
simple question and again,
prostě doslova stejná
answer.
hra, akorát v nový grafice tím
Project
pádem.
has high complexity, so we approached the development in the same way as to the features itself. It's an evolution for us. So we started planning things one by one, and we end up with some system how to deal with it. Actually, whole development of Arma is an evolution. We are figuring out which genes will survive, which will not. So yeah.
Jasně.
You maybe already said that a little bit, but still, what sets Reforger apart from the competition?
Arma Reforger on the surface may look like another shooter, but
Arma není
in
sračka.
fact it's much
To je
deeper,
celý.
and it's not only
Ty
a
vole.
game as it is, it's a living platform where we invite users to contribute, to make their own creations, change the game they like. So it's much more complex ecosystem of game, tools, and users that at the end creates this amazing experience.
So it's all of it together.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, this new Infusion engine, how does it affect the look of the game? How much better does it look?
To je dobrá
It's
otázka
completely
tohle.
new engine, so everything's new for us. Everything looks new. So the look is much authentic and much more beautiful and detailed. But on the other hand, you can still see Arma in it. So it's not the engine affecting the Arma feeling, look and feel. Arma actually, it's in these people who are working on it and the legacy we are following actually.
My last question for you, Marek, is how is Reforger connected to Arma 4?
Well, in a way,
Jako prequel,
Reforger
že by to
is
bylo.
somehow similar to Flashpoint. So it's a beginning of long journey, and we are really passionate about building this together, because Arma 3 is a result of 20 years. So I really hope Arma Reforger is a beginning of another 20 years of collaborative attitude, and at the end we will make massive games on top of this new platform and Fusion.
Also, everybody has a lot to look forward to, I guess.
I may have one more question, gentlemen. You are very famous for using real-life locations in your games. If players wanted to visit any of these real locations, where would you send them?
Well, it's like, surprisingly, Everon is based on Croatian island Krk, but some people describe it as South Bohemia on the coastline of the ocean. So I think in this case, maybe they should visit Šumava.
I would like to be Šumava at the coast.
Wow.
That would be
That would be very nice. Yes.
Yeah, so welcome to Arma Reforger. There you can experience Šumava as an island.
I'm looking forward.
Gentlemen, what is your favorite Arma episode or DLC? Like up to this point?
Well, for me, it's very simple. It's the very first one. It's the Arma Cold War Assault, or originally known as Operation Flashpoint, because it's the game.
Jako I like Šumava je nejvíc česká věta of all time, ty vole, jo.
And even contributed to terrain making in other areas. So for me, it still remains Operation Flashpoint, and I hope
To je Rob, to je impostor.
Arma
To je
Reforger,
impostor.
some of this Flashpoint feelings comes back, and is a beginning of an exciting new journey for all of us.
Good answer. You like all these?
Yes.
All this good, yes.
And obviously, I like the final chapter, Arma 3 Old Man, as well.
Maybe same question for you.
Well, for me, I really like Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead, because there was the time when I fully joined Bohemia Interactive. But my biggest heart is in Arma 3, because I was part of the development for many years, and I was composed the soundtrack for it, and so that's my love. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys very much.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure you are very busy men, so thanks for taking the extra time from your schedule. And now we will take a look at our first feature video.
Wow. Let's go! Já jsem normálně úplně nadšenej.
Differs from classic FPS titles.
Jasné.
While it may look like a simple tactical shooter, it can actually be described as a platform or complex military sandbox due to the unlimited possibilities available via modding. As a result, Arma is able to offer multiple types of gameplay that feature its key points: freedom, authenticity, and a non-player-centric experience. In other words, we don't force players to play the game the way we want them to. Instead, they are able to decide how to achieve the given objectives on their own.
Jasně.
The large terrain and variety of available vehicles.
Takže velkou součástí té hry je teda přemýšlení a vymýšlení toho, jak to udělat.
Even in one scenario. And this war is not just about combat, because we've also focused on the logistical and communication side of things. That means we've prepared gameplay features which support a rich experience for players, focused on other aspects of war, and allow them to enjoy a multiplayer environment as drivers, radio operators, medics, and engineers. In an effort to make the adventure even more believable, players are expected to use their navigation tool to orient themselves in the terrain.
Perfektní. Vůbec se nestrácím i s mapou, ty vole.
We don't want players to waste their time on UI minigames. We want them to live the game. So if you want to experience a believable world that offers freedom of choice and is more than just a game, give Arma Reforger a try.
No, tak to jsem si
So now we have the lead designer, Jaroslav Kašný, aka Zozo. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for coming.
Jardo.
And also the first question from me. You mentioned in the video multiply types of gameplay. Can you describe some examples how players can approach the gameplay?
Yeah, right. Because the biggest advantage of Arma series is the freedom of choice. This makes the gameplay very non-linear and different. We don't prescript game, we don't do tunnel game, and even if you play the game for several times, you might experience different situations. So for example, even a small change in player loadouts, or in soldier loadouts, may completely change the situation. For example, if your way is blocked by an armored vehicle and you need to neutralize it, so if you can't, because you don't have the proper weapon which will penetrate the armor and destroy the engine turret, whatever, you need to find a different way. We don't say that the objective cannot be completed because something is blocking your way. It's up to player's agency if he can basically choose another way.
Já si to dokážu představit normálně tohle. Je to teda podobná hratelnost jako třeba klasická opera ze Flashpoint tohleto, jo?
It really makes a difference if you assault a base in mid-noon, or if you assault a base if it comes from dark or a foggy environment, or if you have a sun in your back, for example, it's very tactical benefit. So it's proved by the real life, basically.
So then you play with the shadows and everything, kind of.
It's nicely said that you play with the shadows. Yeah, but de facto yes, because it's the multiplayer game. So if you are not visible in the shadow, then for the enemy you are de facto invisible.
Cool. So each player has totally different experience.
Yes.
Ty bláho, what the fuck?
That's good. You already partially answered my question. The next question I'm going to ask. But what do you see as truly crucial for the authentic experience?
De facto je opět další krásná česká věta, ano.
I wouldn't say there is not just one or two crucial features which makes the Reforger.
Miluji tu českou angličtinu.
It's about all the features which click together and make the feeling of the game. But we can divide it into three categories. It's about fighting, logistic, and communication.
Yes,
so I can elaborate more if you want on these categories.
Yes, I do want that, please.
You want it. Okay, so it's about the war, it's about the fighting. If you choose a different, or basically the weapons, each weapon in the game has different meaning. They have different purposes and their limitations. So you need to choose the proper loadout. And what we did is basically that we put a lots of effort into weapon simulation. We simulate the ballistics, the projectiles, multiple calibers, the penetration capabilities of these weapons, and this is basically about the fighting, because you need shoot, so you need weapons basically. So if we speak about the logistics, so armies don't win fights just by shooting or using weapons. It is about to be in the right place at the right time. And that's why we have vehicles in the game, so they are not used just a weapon. They can be used just for driving people and material supplies, ammunition on the right places. And we put a lot of effort as well to the vehicle simulation. I personally, I'm very excited about it because I can say that it's the best driving in Arma series ever. So I hope people will enjoy it, even the driving. And if we speak about the communication,
jak velkou součástí tyhle hry je třeba ježdění v těch vehiklech?
You need to share information from the battlefield.
Zase záleží, jaký typ hráče jste, že jo? Dost. Okay.
Our games, basically, people are very used to have a signal range, the radio range, anytime, anywhere. They can speak with anyone. But which is not the case of Reforger, because we decided to simulate also the radio signal range. So it means that it depends really on the devices you use. Like small radios have small radios range, and bigger ones have bigger.
Yeah, so if you have like old radio the grandfather gave you, you're gonna get bad signal.
yeah.
That's very authentic. Yeah. I like that.
But
okay.
My grandfather didn't give me a radio.
Mine did.
Yeah.
Anyways, I like that. Even the part you said about vehicles, that's a very nice attention to detail. Even though I will not be driving my Lamborghini to warfare, that's okay.
Yeah.
I would probably get stuck.
You don't want it.
Do you have any more questions?
There's a lot of details in the game with the weapons and the cars and everything you said. So can you tell us what roles can you players take in Reforger?
Yeah, so
Mě to zajímá,
it
no.
depends on the game mode you play in the Reforger.
Já se kámo nebudu úplně střelec, ty vole.
Mostly it's the platform, and depends what the game mode will use. If the game mode use different loadouts, basically, because the loadouts can build up a role.
Well, let's talk about these roles. Like, give me an example.
Yeah. So basically, we prepared on the sandbox level for the sandbox functionality. We prepared the loadouts, which are grenadier, rifleman, machine gunner, and spotter, and others. But in Reforger, I would say it's more about a dynamic selection of role. We don't say that you choose your role like a radio operator and you play the radio operator all the time. But if you want to help your team as a radio operator, you take the radio in the game, or you can take it from Armory or from another place, and you can act as a radio operator. Or you will choose you will be fire support for your team. So you choose you take the machine gun with full of with backpack or full of ammunition, and you can help this way basically.
Or you will not take anything, and you will be bait.
Or de facto you are not combatant then. If you haven't the uniform, and
I didn't mean naked bait. Bait in uniform.
Okay. So you can get naked there, but I don't.
Okay, too much detail.
So easily said, you can choose and you can change it going through the game.
Yes, that's exactly it.
That's what dynamic means.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you very much for coming and for all your work in the game.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming very much. And now I'm sure it's time to take at yet another feature.
Let's go.
Lore and settings.
Příběh a
With
settings.
Arma Reforger, the entire concept of Arma returns to its Cold War roots. Operation Flashpoint was set in 1985, 4 years after the war between General Guba and U.S. forces on the Malden Archipelago. A global conflict looms once again. We chose 1989 because it was an interesting time when superpowers invested heavily in the military, but combat remained rather straightforward. This type of battlefield is much easier to depict in an authentic way than modern conflicts. This allows us to focus on the combat as well as on communication and logistics.
Máte koukám jako appropriate FPS.
On the island of Everon, one of the terrains in Operation Flashpoint. We've reimagined the entire island and tried to create something truly authentic because we want to transport players back to the time of the Cold War. Most of our development team is from the CzechClouda. So we drew a lot of inspiration from the realities of life in Czechoslovakia. Older players may recognize a number of things from their youth while exploring Reforger's environment. We also wanted to keep the experience of Reforger unique and down to earth. Don't expect a digital battlefield with augmented reality. This is all about the soldier in the field, armed with a radio, map, compass, and assault rifle, who must rely on himself and his teammates to fight, communicate, and make critical decisions.
And so, let's welcome the master of lore and setting, Ivan Buchta. Hello.
Hello.
Ahoj, Ivane.
Welcome. So, the paper says you took inspiration from this place called Czech Republic in the 80s.
That's true.
True. Did you do a lot of field trips in the terrain? Where did you go? Tell us something about this.
Of course we did. The trick here is that Everon is a fictional terrain, although its terrain mesh is based on the Croatian island of Krk. We had to reinvent the whole landscape from the ground up. So one of the first things we started to do was to take our environment design team out, basically to show them how the Czech landscape looks like, how it's composed, what's important there, how it even was created.
I wonder, and
I'm sorry, that was not my question. Where did you go, Ivan?
Okay, well, there were a couple of field trips to South Bohemia, because it's nice rolling hills with a nice landscape matrix of forests, pastures, little fields.
A kind
of idyllic landscape. And Also a kind of landscape which we already know is perfectly suitable for an Arma gameplay, because you have a nice mixture of places to cover, places to advance along, lots of smaller settlements. So definitely interesting terrain for the characters.
That's a good answer. You bring the natural beauty, and then you bring carnage. It's great. Amazing.
I wonder, and I'm sure everyone does, all our fans, are we going to see any more content this year?
No.
Of course we will. It won't be just addition of some new collections to Everon, but we also plan some new features, which would call for a couple of new tools in the books, and players can also look forward to a couple of new exciting vehicles.
Couple or lot?
Couple.
Okay.
In the video we saw earlier, you were highlighting that the fights are very authentic.
They are indeed, yeah.
How do you verify this authenticity?
We do a lot of research. A lot of work is done on really finding out how the physics work behind everything.
A to mělo udělat Activision taky s Cotkem, ty vole.
On our advisors, people with past military experience who can steer the design and help us fine-tune the final thing.
I'm sure the entire process is very creative, but what part of the inventing do you think it's the most creative?
Well, of course, mine. I have to say that the whole team on a daily basis display a great deal of creativity on dealing with their own tasks, and I would say we are a very creative bunch of people in the end.
Just tell me one thing, like the detail of it.
Well, I think that coming up with the idea which later turns into a plausible alternate reality is quite something. That's not everyone can do that, and I'm very happy to say that there are many great people in the team who can, help you achieve this.
Good, yes, good. I can tell that you are a very passionate and creative man, Ivan. It sounds amazing. Tell us, how do you approach creating the lore? Like, where does the inspiration come from?
There are many sources. It can be literature, movies, military history. That's a really good one. And of course, there are other things like fine art, can be music, a certain mood, or even walking out. I'm a very passionate hiker, not just passionate game developer, and sometimes just seeing some nature, spawns the idea of, we can do something in a landscape like this.
Yeah, I could hide in that bush with a gun.
Almost like that, almost like that.
So he just takes the creativity from everywhere.
That's true. That's true. It's it's just waiting out there.
Well, thank you very much for your hard work, because we can see you put really big effort into this.
Well, it's a work of the team.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, Ivan. And now we will take a look at another feature.
Let's go.
Game Master.
Game Master.
Game Master is a tool that lets you make up your own scenarios in real time. It is a sequel to the popular Arma 3 Zeus mode. In the game, there is one person, or possibly more, who can control the mission. They can add new soldiers, new objects, new vehicles, and more. They can control those vehicles and soldiers, give them orders, send players to attack other players. The list goes on.
What the fuck?
Basically, anything that comes to mind. In Game Master, everything needs to be created from scratch. It's a blank canvas waiting for its game masters. Players can customize it, add new objects, add new things to insert, or add new systems and expand it further. Everything will be instantaneous, in real time, with no saving missions. That's why we've made it so Game Master offers the best possible tools for instant management. But who knows? Modders might find a way around that too.
To se dokážu představit. Designer here, Hedrik Offenberg. Hello.
Hi, thanks for having me. Hello, Hedrik.
Hi, Hedrik.
Why don't you tell us what we're most curious about? What is the biggest difference in the Zeus mode?
Hedrik má libový ponožky.
The big thing that we tried to improve was to allow players to create their interactions faster and straight from the get-go. So we did a number of improvements to speed things up. Part of it was to introduce the content browser, where all the assets are in a simple place where players can use filter-based searches to quickly find what they're looking for. And we also introduced some new elements into the game, such as the compositions and easy-to-find groups, so they can quickly create scenes that will fuel their own creativity.
And now maybe more detailed questions. Are there any limitations? Like, for example, if the player wants to add like million BTRs to the game, is that possible?
Well, we did introduce some limitations because, of course, we also want players with maybe not the newest or less powerful computer to be able to experience the Game Master mode.
Yes, yeah.
So we separated it into 4 different categories. So there is a limitation for basic objects, vehicles, AI, and some scripted systems. So if the Game Master fills up one of them, they might have to reduce or remove some of the elements that are taking it up to free up some space. But that way, we can make sure that everybody can enjoy the Game Master game mode.
Which easier said means that you don't have to, or you don't need to have the newest computer.
Jak byla náročná Arma 3 na hraní? Při launchi třeba v tomhletom právě. To mě se zajímá, ty bláho.
Maybe. But what do you expect to be the first mod for Game Master?
Well, that's quite a tricky one because, of course, the Game Master is also a tool where players are able to create their own content. But we did make it with modding in mind. So players and modders alike can introduce some of the features into the Game Master. So I'm thinking maybe some special interactions that will help them test or debug or maybe even support the game mode that they're working on. And it will also work on console. So
that sounds great.
Yeah,
I'm already looking forward to it.
That's right there.
Thank you so much for your time. And now we are going to watch yet another video feature.
Let's go. Workshop.
Arma Reforger is a community-oriented game. Therefore, enabling user-generated content is key for us. We want to support mod creation and give access to publishing and playing the modded content across platforms. Preparing our own workshop was essential to achieving this goal. The in-game workshop supports the entire mod lifecycle and has been streamlined from Arma 3. As a content creator, you'll be able to publish your mods to the workshop directly. In other words, you don't need to use a separate publishing tool because it's integrated into the development process. Using our unified set of modding tools, you'll be able to upload your mod, set the needed dependencies, and manage it directly in the workshop. As a player, you'll be able to enjoy the integration of modding into the game. For example, you won't need to reload the game if you want to join a modded server because it is way more automated now. And of course, our workshop supports all the important functions like subscribing, filtering, sorting, rating, blocking, and reporting mods, as well as joining servers where those mods are present.
And so now we have the workshop
Jak velkou částí tyhle hry jsou mody? A se teda hodně velkou, že už teďko.
My first question for you is the easy one. Tell us more about the new workshop that you've prepared for the players.
Workshop is our own tool to enable player creativity. Straight in game, you can browse, upload, and download mods.
Jako u Skyrimu.
As we did with Arma 3.
Jasně.
But in Arma 3 we had the Steam workshop, and now we're going for an integrated one, so that players from consoles can be invited to join the limitless community creation process.
So they can actually make everything they want.
Console players will be able to access all the mods. You can create them on PC.
Jak to může být hratelný na konzoli, ty vole? To si dokážu představit.
Where you can fulfill all your deepest desires.
Yeah.
And your crazy dreams. Anyways, it's been a big part of Arma series for a while. Of course, it was in Arma 3. What is the most important thing about the workshop that even players of Arma 3 will feel familiar with?
Players of Arma 3 will enjoy the same limitless creativity as they've done over the years. And I think they will be delighted to hear that in our new workshop, they will be able to update mods without leaving the application. So it will be much easier and faster for them to join their friends. If you join a server or a scenario and you don't have some mods for it, which is a very common scenario in Arma 3, every fan will know it, you will be able to just download automatically all the mods that you're missing. The game will detect it for you and tell you, here's a package, download it, and you're ready to go. It's much faster and much simpler for our community to enjoy playing together, because that's our ultimate goal.
You said it's easy for all the players, but still, there are any limitations? Will all the modes be available on consoles?
Come on, we can't give them everything.
That's right. Our console players will be able to enjoy all the mods that fit within console limitation of memory. And the rest they can also enjoy on PC, because we have account linking, Bohemia account, and also it means that players will be able to create mods on PC and enjoy them across platforms. Another limitation will be the stable core of the game, because of course we want people to be creative, but we also want a safe experience for everyone, so the core of the game and the code will be untouchable.
Okay.
That sounds good.
So not all the desires.
Not all of them, unfortunately. No.
If your desire is to break the game, then it's a no.
Okay. I'm sure you have seen a lot of weird stuff in the modding community, but you have, of course, obviously seen amazing things. What is some of your most favorite mods in Arma?
Co vzniklo kromě Daisy, teda
It's
schválně?
really hard to choose, because I think the best thing about Arma is the versatility of the sandbox. And for every fan, there is a different area in which they can tap into. And the modding allows people to go very specific and very into detail. If you want to mod your favorite fantasy universe, or if you want to go super realistic military simulation, you can do it. There is no limit. Some mods are really tiny, like reskins, and some mods are massive, like, for example, probably all community members know Ace mod, which became a base for a lot of games ever since it was created.
Jasně.
And I think that community creativity
To byl to nějaký předchůdce právě to Daisy třeba tohle.
Without maybe picking a
Ty
favorite.
vole.
Do you personally have something you would like to see there, or you would like someone else to make?
I would like community to impress us. I want to see something that I was like, I didn't know it was possible. Well done.
Okay, maybe this time we will find it.
I'm already getting ideas, but I'm not going to say them out loud. Natasha, modding has always been a very important part of Arma series. What are the most significant changes from Arma 3?
Apart from the fact that we're moving away from Steam Workshop partially and having our own one, the changes will...
Aha, tak to je zásadní změna tohleto. Dobře.
It has never been done before in Arma, that console players could enjoy mods just as well as PC. The fact that Workshop is fully integrated in-game will allow Arma fans to update and download new mods without leaving the application, which I'm sure a lot of fans remember as pain from Arma 3 days. And another useful part about it is that if you join the scenario or a server which has mods on it, the game will automatically detect which mods you're missing and will offer you to download an entire package quickly and easily. Another wonderful addition that I think a lot of modders will appreciate in particular is Workbench being integrated with Workshop, so you can upload from our set of modding tools directly to Workshop. Maybe important thing to mention is that our Workshop supports interdependencies between add-ons, which means that you can use mods of other people, modify them, add on top of them, mix and match, and it will support the whole tree structure of modding on top of modding on top of modding.
There's so many possibilities.
Yes, it really sounds like you've tried to make it more user-friendly and effective. I like that. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for your time. And now we will look at another video feature.
Infusion and Workbench.
Okay.
Infusion will provide our players with tools that empower them to either change or extend Arma Reforger and create their own multi-platform content. We worked very hard to make the workflows and tools as simple and as user-friendly as possible. Making mods and add-ons should be a piece of cake for those who have already created them for past Arma titles.
Ty krávo, what the fuck?
Meanwhile, new modders will experience relatively painless learning curve thanks to the documentation and samples we'll be releasing. We're providing a completely integrated development environment with Infusion.
Toto je teda prostě normálně jakoby známá věc ostatních Army, jo.
Our editor understands modding, so you can easily create a new modded file, see the changes you've made, check what other mods are modifying, define dependencies, and enter play mode to immediately experience the changes you've made. The speed of development has increased significantly, while the time needed to create a new terrain has decreased substantially. These are just two of the many added values you'll enjoy using Infusion. Most importantly, Infusion will help close the gap between us and our community like never before, as you'll be able to use the same technology we did while developing Arma Reforger. Can't wait to see what you come up with.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now here, sitting with us, Mr. Pavel Shafar, the master of Infusion and Workbench. Pavel, I have a question for you.
Ahoj, Pavle.
How challenging will it be for complete newbies to create mods with this new engine?
Well, not that easy to answer because it depends on the complexity of the mod one would like to create. But if the modder starts small and add complexity iteratively, I think it will be fairly easy for him. So even a newcomer or newbie who have never made a mod before should be able to do it. But it's fair to say that we are also changing the technology for the Arma, so even most experienced modders will be newbies. But we've made sure that there is enough documentation for them and the onboarding process as smooth as possible, so they should be, effective as soon as they start the modding.
And will they have to learn new code?
Well, depends on what kind of content they would like to create. There is a type of content which doesn't require modding at all, like new models, sound effects, new terrains. But of course, if you would like to implement a new game system feature, then yes, you need to learn scripting. But our enforced scripting language, it's very similar to other object-oriented, strongly typed languages. So it shouldn't be that hard for people to learn, and I've seen a lot of people to learn it in the past. So I'm.
To je jako hrozně jako úzká skupina lidí tohleto.
Sounds good. Maybe even you can learn this.
Well, maybe I can try. But the time in life is important, so I have a little more detailed question. How long can it take to create, for example, like a new car with these modeling tools in comparison with the old ones?
It's very hard to say because vehicles are most complex entities we have in our game, and it takes a lot of effort to create them.
To je Rob, ne, to je jeho ruský bratr Robo.
Across multiple departments, from modeling, texturing, user interface, design, programming. So it's a pretty challenging task. But it's doable, definitely. It will take some time, but maybe what's important is that with current generation of tools, the process should be much faster. The time to deliver such a feature should be significantly lower as the workflows improved. We've implemented a couple of industry standards, so everything should be, let's say, easier and more intuitive. They also have a workbench, our development environment, so they will not need to use cluttered environment full of different editors, command line tools. So everything should be
much
better and
efficient.
So I chose the hard one, car. But for me, as a person who never did it, like a beginner, what should I do? Like what I will be able to do?
If we take this car as an example, you can take our car and just make a small modification. Maybe change a sound effect, visual effects, particles, sounds, create some new small feature, and stuff.
Měla Arma 3 proximity voice chat?
You have already mentioned documentation. Will it be available on release?
Absolutely, it will be available.
Na samples,
so people will have some inspiration to take from, and we will also update this documentation and resources based on the feedback we receive.
It's perfect. Get to work, modders. Chop chop.
Thank you, Pavel, for your hard work, and let's now see another showcase.
Conflict.
Conflict.
Conflict in Reforger is a multiplayer mode based on Capture the Island. which players from previous Arma games will already be familiar with. Two factions, the US Army and the Soviet Army, fight each other for control of the island. The main objective of the game is to capture the enemy's headquarters, which is usually located on the other end of the island. You move through the map gradually while expanding the radio signal. You can't conquer the outposts without it. It's also important to follow the movement of supplies, which allow you to build various services at your bases. You can also make use of mobile headquarters, where players can respawn. Radio communication is essential. You can connect autonomously with friends or players you meet on the map and form your own groups. Each group can have its own radio frequency, and together you traverse the map. This communication is indispensable in terms of fulfilling the conflict quests and maximizing the potential of Reforger itself. Players can also advance in military rank. We designed Conflict in order to showcase all the features that Arma Reforger will offer. You should be able to access anything the game will offer with this mode.
Ty krávo. So now we have another guest here. It's Master of Conflict, Josef Zemánek. Hello. Welcome. Josef, the first question is kind of obvious.
Je to úplně jiný koncept, ale to není pravda.
Can meet on the one map in multiplayer.
Zde hodně lidí versus hodně lidí, že jo?
Currently we support up to 64 players in a single match.
Zjednodušeně, že jo?
But we will be working on increasing this number as we move forward with the development of early access.
Jako říká 64 lidí v mapě, jo?
How many is the maximum you want to have there?
Time will tell. We're not sure yet.
And your own?
I will not go there because, you know, you can't really tell at this stage.
Okay.
I really like this conflict you're talking about. If I want to play this, do I need tactical training?
Well, I sure hope not, because, you know, playing the conflict itself should be the tactical training that you need, because naturally
tam přijdeš týpek, ti řekne Zulu, dostane jedničku a odejde, ty vole.
Strategical decisions will be. But to get you started, we introduced a sort of tutorial scenario that you can play before actually joining a multiplayer match, where you will be able to, you know, get familiar with all the important controls and the game rules that Conflict offers in a safe environment before actually joining the full-scale battle.
Perfect.
Okay, now radio is essential, of course, but can you tell us some possibilities of communication between players, a different one than the radio?
Well, you can use direct speech when you are close enough to each other. Then, of course, you can use the standard chat, you know, just type the messages with your keyboard and other players will be able to see them on screen. You will also be able to draw in the map, be it, you know, some arrows or pictures maybe, if that's your thing. And, for instance, and then you will also be able to use hand gestures, such as pointing at something you want your teammates to look at the moment.
That's good. So there are some new things we can do, maybe even drawing.
Takže takový komplexní komunikační systém prostě.
Yeah, I hope it's just hearts.
Oh, we hope so too. Thank you very much.
I'm really looking forward to this. Thank you so much for coming, Jose. And now, play the next video showcase, please.
Audio.
Bože, tak schválně.
We placed a lot of emphasis on the sound of weapons and military vehicles and tried to be as authentic as possible by using our own recordings. The aim was to be as accurate as possible. We were able to take the utmost care with all of Reforger's sounds because our audio team consisted of 5 people, each in charge of their own area. One person was in charge of weapons, another was in charge of vehicles, yet another was in charge of ambient sounds, and others. Another thing worth mentioning is the music. Reforger is set at the end of the 1980s. We wanted to introduce deeper emotions into the game, maybe a bit of nostalgia, and a touch of Operation Flashpoint as well. That's why we worked with classical music composer Dominik Svoboda, who created an almost purely orchestral score for our game. We recorded the music with a real live orchestra at Smeczki Studio in Prague with the kind help of Soundsgate.
Good sound and high-quality audio is very important for every modern shooter game. And now with us is sitting Tomáš Bayer, the lead audio designer for this game.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Tomáš, How many weapon sounds did you actually have to create?
So the short answer would be around 1,400, because we've calculated that. And the longer answer would be that we actually use a modular system for the weapon sounds configuration, which means that, for instance, the shot sound is made out of more sounds, which are layered on top of each other, which gives us, besides other things, it gives us possibility that every shot sounds a bit different. Like the same sound can...
Trochu jsem to laglo, ty vole. Tak co? Stream dead, f. Stále f. Stále f.
Different in various environments, because we have meadows, we have forests, you know, hills in the game, and the shot sound have a tail or reverb, and they are different. You know, even though you are shooting from the same weapon, you hear a bit different sound according to the environment you're shooting in.
Sounds very difficult.
Yeah, and immersive.
Yeah. I know the audio is not just about the weapons, so if you think about what was the most difficult thing to record, like, did you have any problems?
The biggest recording session, which we were having last year, was the recording of the car destruction. The last thing which we did on that session was the car crash, so that was pretty intense. Of course, we've had like a people doing this for us, so we were only behind the microphones, and where we were active. On the other hand, what we enjoyed was the destruction itself, when we've had, for instance, big hammers, you know, or knives and this kind of thing, and so we've crashed the window of the car and or other parts, and we've had great sounds from that, and great experience, of course, as well.
So you personally take the hammer and you crash a car?
Yes.
That's even good for, like, if you have a bad day.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
You just go and destroy a car and it's your work. That's great.
Yeah, it was quite revealing.
I was told you will be releasing the orchestra soundtrack soon on Spotify, but give us a closer look. Is there some kind of mysterious, interesting instrument used, maybe, or something like that?
I would say not exactly mysterious instrument, but more like a mysterious vibe or atmosphere which the music is bringing, because our, let's say, design, or what we wanted to achieve with the music, was to not take too many attention when the music is played in the game, but rather support what players should feel in a specific moment, in the specific environment. So we've used, as you're saying, the classical live orchestra for this, and if I should pick one instrument which was for me unique, so it was the harp, for instance, because we've had a chance when we were recording to be directly in that hall where the orchestra was, so we were able to stand right beside the player, and hearing this from this short distance was something which we never forget, I would say.
I cannot wait to hear that, because it sounds really great. And the audio looks like it's very important, so thank you very much for your job. And let's see another feature.
Marketing and brand. Along with reforging Arma itself, we do the same with our brand and marketing activities. We are now in the process of rebranding our social media, adding new channels, and involving our community on an unprecedented level with new activities and content. As part of rebuilding and strengthening Arma's identity, we teamed up with Stanislav Petera, a well-known Czech photographer who's worked with law enforcement and military to create the photographic artworks for the Reforger. The shooting was a large-scale production, the best part being that we could recreate Reforger in real life for a moment in time. We spent several days taking photos and analyzing real assets, and we incorporated them into gameplay in a credible and authentic way. You can also fight the battle on Everon with our artwork heroes, Max and Atlas. Our marketing plans also include greater involvement from our loyal community. As part of that support, we are establishing a very special unit of content creators and community heroes under the working title Reforger Regiment. We thank these creators and heroes for years of loyal service, and we are learning from each and every one of them to give you the best Arma experience possible. In short, we are here to do our best to make the road to Arma 4 enjoyable. Start your engines.
Taky se pracuje s komunitou, ty vole.
And lead the way. Marcom Operations HQ, out.
And now let's welcome our last guest, Marketing and Brand Manager Jiří Sajner, aka Giorgio. Hello and welcome.
Hello, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Konečně pořádný hlasy.
From a marketing perspective,
Sympatiák.
what significant activity is planned right now?
There is a lot, of course, but just from the top of my head and the main ones, right now as we speak, we are actually rebranding all our social media. We are adding new channels, we are adding new types of content, but also we want to preserve what our community likes, which means tech talks and community radars, aka comrades. We are also creating merchandise collections with famous global brands, which players can look forward to. And the main mission for us is still the same, and it was said many times, it's about feedback. You know, we need to listen to our community and give them the right answers and give their feedback to the development teams,
yes,
and also inform them when we are on the road to Arma 4 in a creative way, of course.
Oh, there's a lot of things coming on.
They say your content creators, regiment members, can expect full support. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah, Reforger Regiment is a still working title, I have to mention that, but you probably know them from Arma 3, they were called Splendid Squad. I have to say it's not about reach, these guys are community heroes for us, and full support means that we are actually connecting them with our development teams, we are preparing content for them, it's not like a standard relationship within the company and the content creators, and the bonus for all of that is that we are creating a no shower till Arma pack, which our community will understand. What does that actually mean?
No shower Arma
pack? If you want to see what's in the package, what's the contents, it's going to be on their channels after the launch.
Okay.
Now I need a little bit more explanation. What is Arma platform? Can you tell us, explain me more?
Sure, I can. We looked at it that way that if this is a road to Arma 4, it has to start somewhere, right? So we want to present it as a whole, as a franchise. So there will be not just our social media, will be our Arma platform, but also the website, which will show to our fan base, players and modders, where it actually started, where it is now, and how important is Reforger actually right now in terms of the series, and how is it going for the future.
Great, I think now I understand. Thank you very much.
So that would be all. Thank you very much for coming, Jiří.
Again, it was my pleasure.
And before we give word back to our CEO, we would like to inform you that you can start downloading the game right now as we speak.
Thank you for being with us. Enjoy.
Takže to vychází přímo teď, jako jo. Okay.
As you have seen, there is a lot to look forward to, both now and for the future. Arma Reforger is just the start. Many of you will remember our early access release of Arma 3, that game which so many of us know and love, did not appear overnight. Rather, it took years of iterative development. We are at another threshold, and again, we at Bohemia Interactive have a lot of work ahead of us. On that note, I would like to thank our development team for everything they've achieved so far. The transition to our new Enfusion engine has not been an easy one, but we are on the other side and ready to push even further. Last but not least, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank you and the Arma community, not just for your support and engagement over the years, but for your patience. I know this news has been a long time coming, but we are here and I'm very excited. I'm excited because I can finally say, yes, Arma 4, it's in development, and yes, we have something to share with you now. Arma Reforger. I'm also very pleased to say the same to our newcomers. Welcome to Arma. We are working on Arma 4 for quite some time. We have a lot of things we already achieved, but we know one thing clearly. The thing we need the most now is your support. Arma has always been about our dialogue with the community, about your feedback, and about us changing the game to your needs. So make Arma not war and join us on this exciting journey to Arma 4. Thank you.
Make Arma not war zní zajímavě. OK. Dokonce i s titulkama to máme. Oh, tematický. No, tak to teď ještě musíme říct pár věcí, ty vole. Holy shit.
Pro tebe mám svůj tajný plán. Až do koncu světu.
Kámo, to je perfektní, ty vole. Ježiš.
O ruku, lásko, tě žádám.
Bože. No.
A časy se promění. Časy se promění.
Jenom 30 euro? Počkat, what the f...
Hned tak jsem tě potkal. Neváhal jsem. A zeptal se tě. Vezmeš si mě?
Někde celá hra?
A ty jsi odpověděl.
No jasně no.
Ano.
Já tam musím nechat ten song prostě, jo. Já ještě k tomu řeknu spoustu věcí, akorát... Jako... Tak ty vole, jo. Tak, kde to je? Jasně. Tohle tam bylo lidí, 30 káme se v píku. No.
Až do koncu světu.
Teď jdeme jak hovado, tohle je, no.
O ruku, lásko, tě žádám. A časy se promění.
Ježiš, kámo, ono je tak strašně příjemný vidět. Český vývojáři dělat nějaký pořádný hry, ty píčo. Jakoby, fakt budu úplně upřímnej. Normálně, teďko fakt lituju to, že jsem nikdy Armu nehrál. Ty píčo, jakoby, tohle to vypadá jako naprosto neuvěřitelně. Doslova to vypadá, z toho, co já vidím jako casual, vypadá to jako Battlefield, který není sračka. Také to jakoby vnímám já prostě, jo, že... A jsem zaražený, že to prostě jakoby je evidentně tak těžký prostě, že to asi tyhle nedělá jako někdo jiný, no. No, ale já mám jednu doplňkovou otázku. A jak do prdele může fungovat ten Commander mod? Když to není možné, aby to fungovalo snad, ne? Prostě vy máte někoho, kdo jakoby řídí tu kampaň, jako Dungeon Mastera prostě. Chápu to správně? Takže vy prostě máte někoho, kdo vlastně teda vidí jakoby celý ostrov a vidí všechny ty asety na tom ostrově a s nima pracuje? A tak jakoby... Ahoj Olivere, jak to může být balanced tohleto? Prostě máš velitele, aha, zastavím, takže máš 2 velitele. Takže není to tak, že by si prostě měl jakoby jednoho člověka nad celým ostrovem, ale máš 2. Jednoho za Sověty a jednoho za Amíky, jo? Už to chápu? Nechápu to pořád. Podívej se na YouTube, Arma 3 Zeus mod. Jo, ten člověk je neutrální, aha. No mě totiž jakoby jde o to, že jestli máš jednoho člověka, tak který ti to jakoby ovládá celý, tak ti prostě je schopný třeba skurvit pro jednu stranu celou tu hru, ne? Už tomu rozumím? Toto je ukázka toho módu, jo, moment. OK. To je nějaká bitva u Charkova, jo? Třeba pro ukázku.
Anton tady Wilhelm, jak jste na tom a jak je na tom Falcanon?
Ty krávo, tak tohle je ale úplně jako beginning level hry teda. Takže z pozice toho komandéra už je to vlastně akorát simulace. Jakože akorát simulace a nic jiného. Ty píčo, to je šílený. VTF, dobře, už to chápu. Tak, no. Hele, jakoby já to nemůžu jako asi ohodnotit jako člověk, který to kdy v životě nehrál. Čistě to akorát řeknu jakoby z pozice toho, co jsem viděl, že jsem překvapený. Že tu máme firmy, které prostě pořád dělají hardcore hry. Protože tohleto podle mě asi na streamu je totálně unplayable, bych typnul, ne? Že jo. Prostě doslova, já si dokážu představit, že ta jedna kampaň je prostě to, že ty 3 hodiny ležíš v lese na jednom místě třeba. Je to tak, ne? To je doslova vojenská simulace, že jo? Není? Ty byl takových dvojek, ty jo. Já jsem o tom taky reálně nevěděl, Arma šla kompletně mimo mě. Jo, je to zajímavý. Pořád se něco děje? Právě, že není, stačí poskladat pár lidí a máš zábavy po kotel, jo. Já si to nějak dokážu představit, tohleto. Jakože bychom zítra dali Armu, jo. Ty vole, WTF. Důležitý je znát to, že vždycky milovali nadšenci tuhletu hru lidí do armády, takže tam potkáš minimum trollů. Tohleto já chápu. Já teďko se čistě jakoby bavím o tom, že on je rozdíl mezi simulací a normálníma hrama, jo. Já jsem akorát jakoby fakt zaražený z toho, že to vypadá takhle dobře celkově prostě. No, ale na to dá potřebu lidi. Teďko to hraje Vortex, jo. Já se jdu podívat na to. Já jim tady ukázku streamu. Já se prostě musím kouknout na to, abych měl představu, ty jo.
Pořád.
Reakcí. No, ale já nevím, jestli to trefím zpátky, že jo.
Trefíš, kolem dostala doprava.
Dávám přednost, ale on tu nikdo není, takže pohoda.
Máme takovou paní, dáme to zítra spolu, vole.
To vidím, že ty jsi úplně...
Patriku, ty jsi to někdy hrál nebo nehrál?
Ještě kousek, až zacedu licho ten, tady dole. Takhle přední.
No tak dobře.
Ty vole.
Hele, ale já nemám naspěch, pokud to někoho z diváků frustruje, tak chápu, že to může působit nemotorně, ale mě to vlastně nevadí. Tak.
Jinak, co se týče Reforgeru,
prostě
příběhová kampaň tady není, je to prostě multiplayerový titul, ale je otevřený prostě modifikacím, takže nepochybně vzniknou nějaké věci. To ale neznamená, že v Armě 4 ta kampaň nebude, jo? To prostě,
ano, to je prostě samostatný titul,
jiný,
jo?
Jiný. Tak sam auditor říká, že už je dostupná ta hra i na Xboxu, že už je tam k dispozici, takže pokud máte Xbox, chcete hrát, tak běžte stahovat. Na PC to má kolem 8 GB, 7,7 tuším, a hádám, že to na tom Xboxu bude podobný. Kluci, to není zvláštní, to je armáda, říká Dataus.
To je, kámo, já nevím. Co říká chat? Chcete vidět zítra teda jeden stream s Arminový? Já to klidně zkusím, jo, a krát prostě jde o to, že jako teda určitě nechci roleplayovat. Já se prostě chci podívat na to, co to je za hru. Když to je česká hra, ty vole, tak by to asi stalo za to, že jo? No. Kolik teda potřebujeme lidí na to, abychom dokázali z tohoto složit nějaký normální stream? Patriku, seš tu ještě? Pojď se dohodnout prostě normálně teďko. Já vím, že máš jednu ruku a to zvládneš psát. V kolik se chceš zítra potkat teda? Na gameplay. Že to musíme hrát celý týden, no tak já to chápu, ale zvlášť moji neschopnost, rozumíš? 6 plus Zeus. Tak plus 20. Kámo, to nedáme dokupy tohleto prostě. Je tam myslet, že se musí dostat z ostrova a je to vážně prdel? No, mě teďko jde o to, že prostě já si chci jako casual člověk dostat do té hry. Vůbec nemám tušení, co mě čeká, co mám dělat, jak to mám dělat a tak dále. A asi chápete, že já jakoby nechci strávit 6 hodin tím, že budu launchovat ten titul, o tom je jakoby jde, jo. A já budu live od rána, dobře? OK, no mě takhle jde o to, že Jestli prostě potřebujeme třeba aspoň 6 lidí, tak aby to jakoby dávalo smysl, jo. 6 lidí je ještě málo. No, jsme v píči, ty vole. Kámo, to bude stejný pen jako Rust, tohleto. Já si to úplně dokážu představit, no. Ach jo. No. Tohle je gameplay, jo. Proč to má 11 milionů views, tohle?
What?
The fuck was that? Was that the civvy?
But it's an anti-tank mine. Why would it go up? It's an anti-
Oh my god, you moron. Are you serious? You put an anti-tank mine on the fucking main road!
But they don't-
The main fucking road! You put an anti-tank mine on the main fucking road that civilians use! How fucking dumb are you?
I think we've learnt a valuable lesson here today.
Missions have been loading all day. People have been having continual...
Dobře, beru. Tohle mě teda fakt nápadlo, ty vole. V pořádku, kámo, to vypadá jako content. Máme klan, jestli bys to chtěl zkusit, tak stačí říct. Ty vole, přemýšlím, no. Reforger jako beta pro Armu 4, v podstatě je to stejný případ jako tenkrát 2.11, byla Battlefield 3 jako beta pro Battlefield 4. No to jsou dvě různý hry, ne, sakra, to je jako vyporovnání je zvláštní v tomhletom. No. Hele, teda budu úplně upřímnej, vůbec nemám tušení z tohohletoho. Jako, spíš mi přijde, že to bude strašný pain ten stream celý. No, ty vole, jako, takový zajímavý to je, no. Takže, já se zeptám jako ještě jednou, je to pořád, to dokážu pochopit. Jsem schopný já naskočit do nějaký třeba ne singleplayerový, ale třeba kampaně pro 2 lidi, kde vlastně se joinete do něčeho a jsme schopni jakoby fungovat s tím, nebo ne? Nejde to. No, tak to je strašně v pasti tohleto, že jo? Takže buď to seš prostě schopný se třeba ty sám jakoby joinout do hry, kde je třeba 40 lidí, ale musíš jako komunikovat, fungovat a tak dále. A v momentě, kdy umřeš, tak prostě pro tebe hra končí. Chápu to správně. Rozumím. Oni tam i proti tomu bojovat, tam byly trollové. No, rozumím, no.
V Armě 3 jsem byl v hardcore sim. Klanu, kde se dělali pravidelně drily jako třeba CQC/CQB IRL. Dále nás učili, jak správně slaňovat z helikoptéry, nalodit se na loď nebo týmová cvičení. Potom projití všemi zkouškami jsme postupovali v hodnostech výš.
To je síla, no. Mně to třeba přijde, že to má strašlivě příjemný vibe, ty starší 2000 her, ale přitom to vypadá pořád dobře a to je super. No, hele, vypadá to za mě z těch her, co jsem viděl jako remake Vietkongu. A teďko já chápu, že to není Vietkong prostě. To je jakoby jasný, že to je jakoby jiná hra. Jenom jsem jako zaražený z toho, že vím, jako jaký pain to pro mě bylo, no. No. Jako nevím, no. Celkově mám z toho takovej pocit, že kdybych do toho nechtěl dát týden času, tak to nemá vůbec smysl ani zkoušet prostě, no. Jakoby takhle to vnímám, no. Jako, já to chápu, já naprosto respektuju hardcore hry, já s tím nemám žádný problém, ale to prostě jakoby nezvládnu, no. To je prostě naprosto jako OK za mě. Že já mám rád hardcore hry, které jsou single player, a to je v pořádku, ale jako prostě nechci tady trávit 20 hodin času, abych se něco učil, a co tak poslouchám, tak ty vole, to je prostě jakoby základ a to je naprosto OK. Patriku, jestli to chceš zítra zkoušet, tak dej mi vědět zítra. To jsem si zavej, co pak mi k tomu řekneš. Patrik je takovej tyhle hardcore hráč, jo? Tak to je za mě v pořádku, ale jakoby je to jednoduchý, to, že hra tyhle není asi ideální na stream, neznamená, že je špatná, že jo? Tohle to vypadá jakoby skvěle. Jako, let's go. Přeju teda Bohemce ty vole hodně úspěchu, jako jsem jakoby naprosto spokojený s tím, že to bude dopadnout. Já ještě pustím jeden donate, co jsem tady dostal.
Ty meč, ty tomu tak rozumíš. Máš místo mozku zpěva kostku. Dovol. Taky pak dovol.
Toto, co představují, je zcela identický systém, který má již dávno Bohemia Interactive Simulations, zcela jiná firma, ve svém systému VBS4 pro vojenskou klientelu.
No a to je jakoby špatně? Protože to je jakoby v pořádku. Hele, jako sorry, dobrý vývojář zkrátka a používá to, co už funguje, že jo? Jako takhle jakoby jednoduchý, no je, no. Za mě ok. Zkusím to a řeknu, no jasně, jako Patrik má totiž výhodu v tom, že on v 8 ráno může hrát úplný sračky, lidem to bude úplně jedno. Jo, takže já nechám tady mého drahého kolegu streamera prostě otestovat a udělat jakoby nějaké antré a uvidíme, ty vole, jestli to bude playable, když tak prostě uděláme třeba u víkendu nějaký pořádný tady RP server, ty vole. Teda RP, jako Arma server obv. To zní docela jakoby dobrý plán. Kurva rád, ty jo.
Pokud si chceš zahrát v klanu, tak to na jeden stream nebude smějící se smajlík. Každý klan má nějaké cvičení, ten může trvat 3 dny a pokud to chceš ve 2 jen, tak potřebuješ server a dobré nastavení pro něj.
Jo, takhle, takže ty vlastně, když hraješ v nějakém takovémhle velkém skladu lidí, tak ty se ještě potřebuješ se cvičit s ostatníma. No jasně, protože ty tam nemůžeš jako naběhnout jako v cotku, ty vole, a vzít prostě AKčko, a nebo Mku a stát. No jasně, už to chápu, no. Rozumím. Takže ono ta hra je vlastně tak dobrá v tom, že ty máš hrozně moc věcí okolo, který normálně, ty součásti, normálně ostatní FPS nemají, protože ostatní FPS nejsou simulace. Ty kráso. Ok. Chápu. Kámo, Arma RP zní celou Twitch metu. No jasně, už kámo vidím, jak ty vole Pavel a Artix začnou RPit v armě, ty vole. A ty děti, co se na to koukají, budou říkat, to bude rozumím, ty vole, kde jsou moji policajti a černý šlapky a moji Španělé, ty vole, a bugy a tak, ty úplně to vidím, ty jo. No, jako, ono vyměnit to RP za tohleto RP je trošku asi něco jiného, ty jo. Tu hru zabijou normies? Nezabijou tu hru normies. Ale každá hra, která je populární na Twitchi, tak prostě vždycky má nějakou normí metu a pak to odezní prostě. Jako doslova PUBG taky, ty vole, bylo strašlivý na Twitchi prostě. A nebo ne strašlivý, ale bylo to. A dneska už to prostě hrajou akorát srdcaři, že jo. No tak takhle jakoby jednoduše to vnímám. A teda, jako by the way, jsem překvapený jednou věcí. Ta cena je teda podle mě fakt nízká. Jako, jsem překvapený, že ta hra stojí stejně jako nový Polda. A to je za mě úplně třeba šílený. Kdybychom se jakoby o tomhletom bavili. Já chápu, že to je early access. Nicméně teda, je to zajímavé to vidět, no. Ptám se, jestli hráte Force nebo Armu 3. No já jsem se bavil teď o tom Reforgeru, že jo. No. Vole, kámo. Úžasný. Ono to teda nebys moc bavit nebude, protože zjistí, že to je moc komplexní. No tak jestli, protože ta hra asi bude na 2000 hodin, že jo. Co tady říká můj drahý donátor Medník? Ke všemu, co jsem k tomu řekl. Jak musel nějaký rozhodčí slovo. Tady od lidí, co mě tady platí. Arma měla RP server dřív než GTAčko, hrával to kdysi Lyrik. No tak jasně, ale tak kámo, Lyrik hrál Armu, ještě když byl největší streamer na Twitchi Phantom Lord prostě, jo. A potom Ice Poseidon, že jo. To je taky, ty vole, trošku jakoby jiná doba, kámo. Teďka jsem se byl pro jídlo, aha, tak to je hrozná smůla obuvu. No. Songs of Conquest a co tohle, to už udělali Češky, no. Uvidím, no. Jsem clueless, ale souhlasím. No já jsem říkal, že za mě Arma je prostě zbytečně, no ale je to tak, zbytečně komplexní hra na stream, pokud nevíš, do čeho jdeš. Jako prostě, to je realita. To je celý, co bych prostě k tomu asi jakoby řekl, no.